ready, red lights are on. And a reasonably long hold before they go out, and a pretty even start between the two from the front row. Jack Dwayne getting his nose in front of Owen Rosser as they head towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, but Rosser has the inside line, trying to go around the outside. It was a very good start from Tim Bentley there. He started on row 4 and is already up to 3rd position overall and has taken the lead of the 182 class from his mate Chris Lawrence, who was ahead of him on the grid. He's still side by side with Ben Swift for 3rd position overall, and Swift just muscled him out.
Exactly, that's exactly how it worked. And he's been overtaken now by 77, isn't it, on the exit. Jason Pelosi getting himself back up ahead of Bentley. In fact, Bentley's been shuffled back to 6th in all this, but critically for him, he's still ahead of Chris Lawrence. There's a challenge for 2nd as they come back towards us. But out front, it is Jack Dwayne who leads. 2nd and 3rd, Swift and Rosser side by side. Then it's Pelosi. Then it's the number 3 car that's come up really well. That's Jack Kingsbury. And behind Kingsbury, it's Bentley in the first of the smaller cars.
And Swift did make it through at Paddock Hill Bend up into 2nd position. Rosser trying to fight back, the driver from Essex. But he can't make it through. You've got then Jason Pelosi in 4th position, the winner from yesterday's race, looking to reprise that. Back in Clio's this season after racing in the Porsche Sprint Challenge last year. You can see the 182 of Tim Bentley. There's bronzy coloured cars in 6th position still, and he's got about 3 cars between himself and Chris Lawrence in the 2nd of the Class A machines. It's Jack Dwayne that has the lead then as they come towards the end of the 2nd lap. Jack has been a champion in the past in the 182s. In 2021, the overall champion, also won the 182 class last year, and switching to the 197s for the first time this season.
And Kingsbury looks a little bit feistier today, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yesterday he finished in 7th place, but he's up in that dark grey car. He's running 5th, and he's in a tight huddle with the red car of Rosser and the white car of yesterday's winner Pelosi. There's Bentley in the first of his class, the Class A cars. Number 4, Tim Bentley. In the background you see the yellow car. That's Bentley's rival, Chris Lawrence, who had Alex Burridge not far behind him.
Yep, and 3 Class B cars between the two of them. There is Lawrence in the 56 car then, making his way through. The 33-year-old from Grimsby, a mechanic. Bentley out in front in that number 4 car, having had a double win overall, not just in the class at Silverstone. He's losing touch really with the cars above, including Jack Kingsbury just ahead of him. On the road, Kingsbury still behind Pelosi, but trying to change that. Kingsbury, the 28-year-old technician from Hartford, started racing 6 years ago. He's only raced in Clio's in the K-Tec Championship. His car prepared by his dad, Ricky, and Jack also involved in the building of the car during the off-season. So he's behind yesterday's winner, Jason Pelosi.
Olivier Algieri moving up a rung last time through, the 38 car into 11th place. But there's nothing much between the times in the chase pack. High 56s first and second, the rest of them in the 57s. Now, challenge here mounted by Ben Swift, who dives down the inside, then looks to the outside, decides to follow Jack Dwayne through Paddock Hill Bend. Dwayne gets a bit of a better exit, I sense, from there, but up the hill, just making sure that his attention is also focused on his mirrors. Swift looked one side then the other. There's, and one off, that's 38. Algieri.
Yep, just as you were saying, he was on the move. He's come to a halt, I'm afraid, I think over there, at McLaren. So yellow flags at the part of the circuit they're approaching now. There's some dust go up at Paddock Hill Bend, but I think that's someone having driven all the way through the gravel trap. You could see Algieri's car on the grass there. Best lap of the race, Ben Swift, by the way, 56.61 on the previous lap, and that's about 0.3 quicker than yesterday's best lap of the race, which was set by Owen Ross. So the cooler conditions possibly playing into the heads of these cars as well. Safety car is going to be
yep,
out
there
on
it goes.
circuit, though.
And it's a Renault as well. It's a McGann going out at the back.
Yeah, that leaves the back exit from the inner paddock here. So it picks the cars up halfway around the lap unusually. But that's always been thought of as the best way of doing things here at Brands Hatch. And that will be to allow the recovery of Algieri's car, which is 10 yards off the circuit at McLaren. So 9.5 minutes of the race still to go. It will probably have a couple of laps behind the safety car. Already the recovery truck is on the way to the scene, and hopefully it won't take too long to collect that, and we'll still get another 4 laps or something of racing before the end.
It's going to compress the field.
Certainly will. Good to see Lewis Richardson out there today. He was a retirement from yesterday's race, the 18-year-old from Milton Keynes. He's running in 19th position at the moment.
It's good to see a new generation of drivers coming through. Quite a few teenagers and youngsters in their 20s having a go.
That's right, which is good to see. Always important for clubs like the 750 Motors Club to inject new blood to their membership as well, and focus on young drivers and other drivers from other backgrounds as well. Always keen to see more female participation in particular, as we have seen in some of the races this weekend, but always good to get more people from different backgrounds involved as well. So safety car out then, with 6.5 minutes to go in this K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship race. Jack Dwayne leading by now 3/4 of a second, but obviously we're behind the safety car. So see there the 17 car of Sonny White on screen briefly.
I can't tell whether the Algeri car is being winched off the grass or making its own way back.
Yes, it is being winched off.
On a strap.
Can see. Now what are they going to do with it is the question.
24 productions.
Just talking about teenagers, we saw Sonny White on screen there in the number 17 car. He is actually 17 years of age as well. And started racing last year. So a newcomer to racing.
How many other Sonnies can you think of in racing? Sonny Raja, the Malaysian who raced the ex-Ronnie Peterson March in Formula Atlantic in 1973-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Springs to mind.
Yes. So it's going to be at least one more lap behind the safety car. Just trying to work out what's happening with Algeri's car now. See if we can figure out what's happening with that. The recovery truck is now moving ahead of it.
They're going to put the strap on the front now.
Yeah, to pull it
back.
Put it round to the pit lane, I would think. So a little bit involved, this recovery operation. And not straightforward with the car on grass, which I presume is still relatively soft after a wet couple of months. Which doesn't help the recovery, of course.
Well, the truck is about to get underway. Yes, there it goes.
So with a bit of luck, we might be able to go racing again at the end of this lap.
Yeah, with a fair wind, that'll be the end of lap 8, and we'll probably be on about 10 minutes by then, won't we?
Yeah, so that'll be 5 minutes and therefore probably 6 laps of racing that we'll get out of this, which is better than it might have been. We had 5 laps before the safety car, and we'll get probably 5 or 6 afterwards as well.
Yeah, yesterday's race was restarted.
That's right.
But this one, there's just a rolling roadblock, so to speak.
Safety car has made its escape, so it's now with Jack Dwayne to control the pace. He's still weaving around a little bit, keeping some heat in the Toyo tyres. And at some point he will decide to make the break. The first 3 have got a bit of a gap back to the rest of the group. There we go. I think Dwayne is now gone. And The others follow. They were reasonably alert to Dwayne getting his clog down, and so the gap probably will be similar to what it was as the safety car was brought out. So over the line they go, half a second the gap between Dwayne and Swift. Rosser third, Pelosi fourth, Jack Kingsbury fifth, and then Tim Bentley leading Class A in sixth position.
Different dynamic for a lap or so while the tyres come back up to temperature. And so Dwayne, that is out front by about 3 car lengths over Swift and Rosser. Pelosi fourth, Kingsbury fifth, then class leader Bentley, who's gunning for 4 from 4, isn't he, in that class.
There was one locked up on the way to Druids that time. It was the 23 car of Alex Burridge, so he's lost a bit of ground to Chris Lawrence now, and the fight for second within Class A. Still being led by Tim Bentley, of course. There's Lawrence, you could just see going through on the screen, behind the 21 car of David Walsh. There are the two leaders. Half a second was the gap. 0.3 of a second is now the gap, with Ben Swift doing a 56.54, new fastest lap of the race very briefly, because then Jason Pelosi has gone quick with a 56.51. So interesting that very quickly after the restart they've all gone quicker, nearly all of them doing personal best laps on that last lap.
Yeah, Darren Ransom's come up into 8th place in car number 30 ahead of David Walsh in 21.
There's the leaders over the line, over the curb I should say, and now heading into Surtees. The top two getting away here from Owen Rosser again in 3rd place, Jason Pelosi 4th and Jack Kingsbury 5th. Black and white driving standards flag you can see for car 53, that is Rosser. Leaders pretty close, Marcus, as they head onto the start and finish straight this time.
Yes, they are. And coming up the outside is the yellow car of Ben Swift. They cross the line and Swift dives down from the outside to the in, then jiggles around under braking. Rosser's there still with Pelosi and Kingsbury, who hops the curbs on the inside of paddock, filling his mirrors. But up at the hairpin, and will Ben Swift be able to get a bit of a cutback? No. Nicely, nice looking cars, aren't they? They do look really smart.
Yeah.
Well turned out.
They do, and if things stay this way for the next 2.5 minutes or so, we're on course for a 4th different winner in 4 races in the 197 class. So that's really healthy to see that degree of competition.
That really helps Tim Bentley overall, though, doesn't it?
It does, because it looks like he's going to make it 4 from 4 in Class A. Perhaps doesn't have quite the depth of competition that there is in Class B this season, so it will help Bentley. Coming up and over the line again, 2.25 minutes to go, so they get 3 more laps out of this. And the gap, again, just about 1/3 of a second between Dwayne and Swift.
Yeah, Pelosi's been quite defensive. Yesterday's winner.
Yeah, he's in 4th position as we're watching a bit further back. The 56 car come through. That's Chris Lawrence, the 2nd car within Class A, in 10th place overall. He's got a reasonably healthy advantage to the next Class A car, which is now Steve Gray.
And he's just driven off the circuit on the exit of the hairpin. Used a lot of curb there, which didn't quite work out. And
there's Bentley, who leads Class A. He's in a bit of no man's land really now, Tim Bentley, because he's getting away from the next group of Charles Shelbourne, but he's about 3 seconds behind Kingsbury as well. Leaders are back towards the end of the lap. They'll have 2 more laps to go. There they go. The gap's gone out a bit between Dwayne and Swift to just about half a second now. No change in the order amongst the first 5 though. Up towards Druids, the hairpin they go, and it's Dwayne, number 11 from Lincolnshire, ahead of Ben Swift, number 47 in 2nd place, another Lincolnshire driver actually, based in Skegness. And then in 3rd it's Rosser, the Essex driver, trying to keep Pelosi and Jack Kingsbury at bay. Not sure that Ben Swift's got anything up his sleeve here, Marcus, to try and make a move on the last lap.
I think it's only his arm, that's it. But nothing much that's going to alter the destiny of this race, I don't think, because Jack Dwayne looks to have a good margin. It's 44 hundredths, and not far behind Swift in second place is Owen Rosser in the red car. It's almost equidistant there, and Swift using a lot of road coming out of that corner. He's not quite close enough to challenge, but there's Pelosi, who's on Rosser's back bumper in the drive deranged car.
Dwayne then looking set for his first victory in the 197s, having had many of them in the 182s. Heads on to the Cooper Straight for the 14th time in this race. And a few laps behind the safety car, of course, but I think we've had 11 racing laps. And he's going to turn his way out of Clearways towards Clark Curve, on to the Brabham Straight for the final time. Checkered flag is going to be waiting for him, and Jack Dwayne is going to win round 4 of the K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship from Ben Swift in second place, Owen Rosser third, although I now see that he has a 5-second penalty, and I suspect that's for exceeding track limits. He did get warned about that earlier on. Jason Pelosi fourth, Jack Kingsbury fifth, but that penalty for Rosser is going to drop him back to, I think, 6th position, because Tim Bentley will also be promoted as well. Tim Bentley winning Class A in 6th position overall.
Perfect score for him then so far.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 wins from 4. Chris Lawrence second, Steve Gray third within that class. But yeah, Owen Rosser's 5-second penalty will cost him a good few points there. Let's take a look at the results of that race then. It was a win for number 11, Jack Dwayne, at the end of 14 laps. 47 hundredths clear he was over Ben Swift. The gap went up and down a little bit during the race, but it was always less than a second. Third on the screen there is Owen Rosser, but he will drop back to 6th once that 5-second penalty has been added to his time. 4th to number 77, Jason Pelosi. 5th to number 3, Jack Kingsbury. 6th to number 4, Tim Bentley. He wins Class A for the 4th time this season. Then Charles Shelbourne, 7th, number 48. 8th to number 30, Darren Ransom. 9th to 21, David Walsh. And then we get to 2nd in Class A. 10th overall, 56, Chris Lawrence. From 9, Steve Gray. Alex Kilby, Alex Burridge and Chris Page were next up. And working our way through, we also had Andy Bennett, Josh North, Sonny White, Lewis Richardson and Josh Southwell making it to the end, with Olivier Algieri the only driver that did not. So an entertaining couple of races for the K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship. Let's head down to the pit lane now and hear from Josh Barrett and the drivers.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, we're down here after that K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship with our race winner, Jack Dwayne, the 4th different winner in the 197s that we've had this season, as Ian was describing. As you can see there, he and Ben Swift are going to congratulate each other after another close fought battle. It was opposite way round in the earlier race, so we'll let Jack take his helmet off, and then we'll grab a word with our race winner from the 2nd of the Clio races this weekend. Well done, Jack. That was sort of the opposite way around to yesterday, wasn't it? With you were chasing Ben this time, it was his turn to chase you.
We've pretty much got the same pace, so round here there's not really anywhere to overtake, as everybody knows. But I started getting an ABS fault into the hairpin, so I was locking the front wheels. And he's not an idiot, he could work that out. You can tell when someone's got a problem in front of you, so I thought I need to sort of do this as slow as I can into the hairpin and then try and drag him out of the straights, because I've got a slightly newer tyre on than Ben had. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I haven't had an outright win for a long time now, so I've still got it.
And we now had 4 different winners in the 197s this year, so it's mighty competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. The times, I mean, you look at the Silverstone times, the Brands Hatch times, and the drivers that are in it, there's a lot of talent in this category, me not being the thick end of it all the time. So yeah, some good guys, and it'll be a good series when it keeps taking off.
Well done. Let's have a quick word with Ben, who's going this way. Ben, can I have a quick word with you? 2nd place, a great battle again with Jack.
Yeah, another good one with Jack. Yeah, I think there was a bit better yesterday, starting on pole, obviously. So it's not the right side of the grid, we don't think. But we got a much better launch off number 3, but just couldn't have any answer for him. I think he had new rubber on for that one as well, so there wasn't too much we could do. But yeah, really good race. Really enjoyed it as usual.
Yeah, thanks very much. So we're on to our next race already with the PD Extinguishers MR2 Championship.